Hello, welcome. So, there are already some people in chat, as you can see, because you are those people, unless you're watching this archived. Welcome. Why does that always... Anyway, doesn't matter. So, hello, Marky, welcome. Today is only root building. Mr. W, hello. Slovak Eagle, hello. Yes. Any news if Shardice is ready? Well, I have some news on that. However, I'm going to let you guess what that news is. Nice color gradient in chat for me. Purple, red, orange, yellow. For me, it's green, red, orange, yellow. I'm sure the start of the stream will be imminent. Ha ha ha. Yeah, that sounds like the beginning of a joke, that does. Anyway, hi. Test, 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 test. Yep, we can hear you. Here he is. Root building, eh? No. That'll come later. That'll come later. No. Right. So, would anyone like to do voice chat? That's more creaky than usual. Would anyone like to do voice chat today? If not, that's fine. But I would need to know now so you can start Discord before I start Trainz. Hello, the bug brain. Welcome. Nice to see you again. Shardice, I have a bit of a sore throat, so would you mind if we don't do voice today? No, that's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Hello. Hey. Alright. How about you, Slovak Eagle? Would you like to do voice chat? If not, that's okay. Good luck reading chat in that case. Well, I've had a good start. I finished the Southern PS4. I didn't realize the Southern had PlayStation 4s. I thought they were a later invention. It's just a kit bash. Oh, I see. So it's not an actual one, so it just looks like one. No, I'm joking. Did it turn out good? Right, anyway, I'm not going to wait for an answer. I'm going to start Trainz after I've switched over. I'll try to restrain myself from sending an excess of chat messages. Good start. Right, so today we are not working on the Wenley and Amleth tramway. Welney and Amleth. We're not working on the Waterloo and City or on the Tutorial Creek Railroad, which, by the way, is the one that I was that I had for the tutorial series. Let's have a little look at that. Why not? We've got time. Just a tiny look, just to get you, if you've seen my Trainz tutorials, a little extra insight. Well, not really insight, but a little extra scene. Yeah, this is the one. This is the scene from the video that I did on root creation, root building tips. Yes, this is it. You can see what I've put down here. Oh, this hasn't loaded in properly. That's up the road is... Oh, or did the asset change? No idea what happened there. Anyway, yeah, this is it. Got some narrow boats here, some stuff. And over here... Oops, over here should be... Oh, I see. I probably put it on the session layer by accident. That's why it's not there. Anyway, oh, there was the other part of where I did the thing with the junctions. But we've seen how that turned out. It's Slovak that has to restrain himself rather than you. Why? Kangafango is by far the one who sends the most messages in chat. So I might as well not even try. No, please do try. Oh? Yeah, it's on your Discord server. Oh, great. Why? Nice. Well, you've seen what he does sometimes. Who he is. Who is he? Who is he? Who is who? I have seen a few on the tutorials. Oh, I feel honored. Slovak usually doesn't send that many messages. He used to, though. A while ago. This guy. Okay. Right, so we're also not working on the Toronto Rail Lands or the Thorpedale Through the Ages, which is just a working title. It's not necessarily a finished one. Also not the Great Pass Railroad or the Scilly Old Fart. Oh, yeah. The Scilly Old Farts Logging Railroad. Great name there. Yes, of course. Not Mods Test 2, Mods Test 1, Sabino Lake, Scar Hills 2019, the original Scar Hills, this one, the Riverdale Scenic Railroad, Pillsback Barn Through the Ages, nope, not that one either, Normal Text Reference, not that either, Needle Barn, My Personal Items, that's not mine, that's someone else's. The Maxford into Urban, not either, London Underground, no, London Underground, other one, Kickstarter County 2, Kickstarter County, J Valley Line, that one's not released yet. Healesville full seasonal test. This for how to get stuff into Trainz when I did the test. East Coast Mainline, nope. This one, the other East Coast Mainline, nope. Eagleville, nope. Eagle County, also not. Downtown Traction, as tempting as that is, no. Das Blitzsteintal Bahnnetzwerk, also not. Contrailways, no. Although I will play some sessions there. I will play some more sessions on this, just not today. Cornish Mainline and branches, not either. Content samples, nope. Covenant Mountains, nope. This route is almost released. Almost, just a couple more details. It's always just a couple more details, but it will be released soon. The Chapevo, not either. Central Europe, nope. I'm not working on this. The CDE Logging Camp, not either. Canadian Rocky Mountains, nope. Siena Hinton Valley now. Broad Gauge, route from the US, nope. Ansley Island Railway, as tempting as that is, nope. Amtrak Empire Builder, also not. 19R2, which is my previous broad gauge route, also not. 19R1, also not. However, today we will be working on none other than the famed Milton Valley Railroad. So let me load that while I read chat. Probably you've already commented on this, by the way. Hello and welcome to episode 15 of our Trainz route building series. I'm using 2019, but most things also apply to other Trainz versions. Can I do a request? Well, you can give me a request. I'm not saying that I'll accept it. Also a request for what? You skipped it! Deliberately. You pulled the old skipperoo! XD. Can you reskin a SD45 in Kodachrome scheme? I probably could, but I won't. Unless I have permission to upload it to the DLS from the author, and I need it for a route of mine. In those two cases, I'll do it. Other cases, not at the moment, no. Tutorial series, yes. Welcome to this episode 15 of tutorial series. Yeah, I know. I said that myself. Right. So this is where we were up to last time. I'm sure you know where this is by now. The sugar plantation thing. Wait, I edited the wrong one. Sorry. I need to go into edit session and then I need to select the root layer. Just because sometimes a few scriptable objects, not scriptable objects, just everything, but a few objects with the scripts of a few objects might not work entirely with only editing the root. Like for example, in some signals, the signal data, like how the paths are set with some signals, is only saved in the session layer. So if you set that up in the root layer, it's not going to be saved. If you go out and go back in, it's going to be gone. It's going to be reset. This is what Bugbrain meant. Yeah, I know what they look like. Probably. Okay, so I'm going to do this field, and then I'm going to extend the railroad. Everybody loves an extended railroad, right? Okay, field boundary first. Guess what it does? It binds the field. No, it just tells you where the field ends. Okay, so actually, I want to have a little bit more... This is actually quite funny. You see, the line is on the right side of the border, and then in the woods it goes diagonally for a bit and then over, but then here it just kind of slowly goes back to being on the right side of the border. That's quite funny. Right, so how do I want this to go? Because I want there to be a little bit of a wooded area, and then after the wooded area, well, maybe actually in the wooded area. No, I'll do it outside of the wooded area. Do the wooded area, then outside of the wooded area, I'll... Yes, I know you've become a lurker. You've become a lurker, I know. Right. Outside of the wooded area, that's where I'll have a little siding with... Well... Probably a junction. Actually, probably a junction that goes over to where the farm is, which is going to be over here. Then the loading place, the other one, then it goes back. So I'll actually place the baseboards now, because I don't really want to put a field boundary in right next to forest, because the forest would act as the field boundary. So I'm going to do that first. Strange. Sometimes the return doesn't work for this. Probably. XD, it sounded like Shadice was saying, I know what it looks like. Probably. Well... That's probably not what I said. Well, what I meant. Yep, it did. Colorful Loco. I have become the lurker, lol. You've become the lurker, lol? Interesting name. I would have gone with something different. How do you come up with the name, the lurker, lol? Interesting. Or rather, Iol. Because if it's a name, the first letter is capitalized, so it's Iol, the lurker. The lurker Iol. Lurker eagle. The lurker lol. The feared. The dreaded. Just joking, just joking. I'm a bit of a lurker too. TBF. To be frank. Lurker lol. XD. XD. I like it when I get reactions of enjoyment from people who watch my things. Like, for example, the XDs in chat. Okay. So, should I keep it level? Should I keep it level? Should I go up a bit? Well, depending on how big I want to make this wooded land, actually, that might be good. I might... Tell you what, I'll make the railway go a bit further, the actual tracks, because I might want to put a hill in here. If I put in a hill in there, then obviously where the hill is will determine where the forest will go. So I'm going to need to do that. Would be JJ then. Just joking. Shredder's Fango, this is gonna go over the heads for everyone else, but you too excited for Spyfall? Are you telling us that we're excited, or are you asking if we're excited? If you're asking if we're excited for it, then yes, I'm looking forward to it. XC, Shreddice! And to be fair is to be fair. Well, to be fair, that is what it stands for. Yep, I am, yeah. Shreddice, you sounded a bit robotic for me a second. There. Glad. Shreddice asking, I forgot the question mark. I forgot the question mark? Or I forgot the question mark. It's really very, very distracting. It will be very, very confusing if you don't really end the sentence, because it's like, oh, well, how do you mean it? Is it an exclamation? Is it just a sentence? Is it a statement? Is it a question? Is it a proposition? What is it? Anyway, don't mind our shameless plug of the Board Game Club. Yes, Board Game Club, exactly. Right, so if this continues on here, and I want this to be relatively straight, because I want you to be able to look up and down the hill. So this is 5 meters, and the grade to go, well, let's go for maybe, say, let's go for a 1.5% grade. That is the, yep, gradient. XD, 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 XD. Okay, so if I make this go up, sort of like this, Maybe a bit steeper at the end. Maybe just go for a little bit of 2%, just to add some spice. Then let's go down to 1%. Then let's go down to n%. Not negative 12%. That would be ridiculous for a railway like this. No one would ever do something like that, would they? Now I want this to go all the way down to ground level and then to go back up to height 5. So it goes down to sort of like that. And then if I put in a straight one going up to here, and then make this one go up to 5. Well, actually, yeah, let's put in a straightened bit here. So we've actually got the proper angle. So this is going to be the hill. So it will go down a bit like this, then it'll go up and up and up and up. And then when it's up here, then it'll go down and down and down and down, and then back onto the embankment. Lovely. Shall I see on the videos that inspired me to start the club, the presenters have made that same mistake once. It is quite an easy mistake to make. It's a bit like Blaukraut bleibt Blaukraut und Brautkleid bleibt Brautkleid, which means blue cabbage? Blue cabbage. So it's like the purpley blue cabbage stays blue cabbage, and wedding dress stays wedding dress. It is a tongue twister, a German one. So, yeah. Saying glame instead of game. Ah, yes, he said. No, we aren't. Ampersand? He looked at the camera, confused to bits. Huh? Yes, indeed. This is embankment. Change here for the Bakerloo line. Red cabbage in English, but translated it does mean blue cabbage. Yes. That is true. The best cabbages translated mean blue cabbage. Even sometimes the best Babbage. Not baggage, Babbage. As in Charles Babbage, was it? Inventor of mechanical calculating machine. Well, he invented them, but he wasn't the first to invent them, because the Romans did have, with gears, calculating machines. So I will level the terrain to the tracks here. It was Charles Babbage, right? Yeah, Charles, yeah. Babbage's cabbages. Oops. Didn't you mean Babbage's cabbages? No, Babbage's cabbages baggages. Right, so what does this look like that? The hill is obviously not finished because having a hill just under a railway line for the railway line to go over said hill would be, quite frankly, ridiculous. And who would want it to be ridiculed for it? No one. Oops. All right. Job application submitted. Let's hope I get it. Oh, what job have you applied for? That sounds interesting. So, how are you all doing today? Oh, I'm doing very well. I've played quite a bit of Transport Fever 2 today, so, yeah. I've waited so long for that game to release for Mac, and now it has, so I'm happy about that. I've actually thought of a joke, which is on my Discord in the actual jokes about Transport Fever 2, which is something that actually happened to me. So, if you want to know the joke, okay, the joke is how to get an early high-speed line in Transport Fever 2. Step 1, unlock the A4, so the A4 Pacific. So Nigel Gresley's A4, the record holder for fastest steam locomotive, well, for land speed record for steam locomotives. Not necessarily the one that has been designed for the fastest high speed, but the one with a land speed record for steam locomotives, yes. So step 1, wait until you unlock that. Step 2, build a high-speed track network with the expensive high-speed tracks and lots of tunnels and bridges to keep the track speed as high as possible, because you don't want corners, because if you go around corners, you have to drop the track speed, which then will mean that if you drop the track speed, then the high-speed trains, which are much more expensive than normal speed trains, won't be giving you a profit, because you'll not be using them for what they're supposed to be used for. Step 3. Realize that although you have unlocked the A4 Pacific, you don't have any coaches that can match its speed. You've only got coaches that go at the speed of other locomotives, which are far less expensive. So there's no reason to use the A4, so use an A3 instead, until you unlock the faster coaches. Step 4. Step 4 is be glad that you still have over 1 billion in the bank account. So, yes, because that whole ordeal is very expensive, and if you don't have fast trains on it, there's really no point in having it. So, there. It's put better in chat because it doesn't have the explanations with it on Discord. So, King Fanger, yeah. Oops instead of snap. Oh, for what? Good luck with it, dude. Yes, good luck with it, dude. Alright. And yeah, I'm not too bad. And your regal eagle self? It's vain, but I quite like my recent one on the actual joke server. Which one was that? Which one are you referring to? Is one step profit? No. High-speed trains in Transport TV 2, you really need them to run a long way to make a profit. And I don't have a high-speed coach yet, so I don't know if it's profitable or not, because I've never had the opportunity to do it. Electrician for the Slovak Energetic Network. I sent one for Jaguar/Land Rover and Foxconn yesterday, and Mühlbauer day before. Still waiting for answers from there. Oh, well, that's exciting. Well, I hope everything goes well. And I also hope that you never experience a safety third moment, which is the thing that I got from the podcast. What is it called? Well, there's your problem. I think they've recently started. At the end, it's called a section called Safety Third, where they get letters from people who watch their podcast who've worked in an environment where instead of safety first, their policy is not safety second, but rather safety third. So I hope you don't get any of those. Right, so what is 3 times more dangerous than war? 3 wars. Ah, that joke. Oh, right, yes, I see. Although, it depends on the relation between them. Because if you have one war, focused at one thing, it's obviously very dangerous. If you've got 3 wars, 1 focused against this one, 2 focused against the one who's at war with you, then that spreads the target of the one who's at war with you out from 1 to 3. In which case, 3 wars can actually be less dangerous for you than 1 war. Obviously, it depends on which kind of war you're talking about. If you're talking about a war that uses, for example, a nuclear arsenal, then really no amount of wars is any more dangerous than others, because with nuclear weapons, well, any one war could destroy pretty much everything. Yes. And I am doing alright too. Great. Alright, I see. Well, good luck. Yeah, I see. Thank you. Nice joke, Shared Ice. No, don't be silly. Step 3 is profit, of course. Oh, so step 3, the one where you realize that you don't have any coaches that go with the speed that your fast, fancy, expensive, hugely expensive locomotive goes at, that is profit? Explain it to me, please. But W, I wouldn't say it's really vain. I mean, if you don't like the joke yourself, you wouldn't post it, would you? Oh, right, true. Sure is. I'm just glad the podcast wasn't... Again, avert your ears if you're adverse to hearing a swear word. Wasn't beep. Yeah, Doctor Who. Why glad? I mean, that's what he said. I mean, if he had spelled it out, I would have said it, but he censored it, so I only repeated his censoring of it. Why glad? It was a joke. 'Cause hearing Shard, I swear, it's unnatural to my virgin ears. Well, come on. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Snugmeg. Snugmeg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello. Oh, Sugmeg. Not Snugmeg. I read the snug. Like you're really snug. But no, it's Sugmeg. Hello. Still. Hey. Shades. No, Mr. W said step 3 is profit, not step 3 is profit. Said step 3 is profit, not step 3 is profit. I'm not sure what the difference is. It's not. He said step 3 is profit, not step 3 is profit. There's no difference to that. I can't see a difference there. I have some knowledge in certain softwares used in various industries. Modeling in CATIA, drawing in AutoCAD, circuit board design in Eagle, hydraulic and pneumatic simulations in Festo, Fluid Sim, Siemens PLC S7 industrial processor in TIA Portal. So yeah, and I am certified electrician per 21, whatever that money symbol is. Not sure what that is, which currency. Yes, it sounds promising. It doesn't matter what it is. Step 3 is always profit. Well, for someone, in this case, it is true profit, because step 2 was to spend a whole lot of money. So step 3 is you have profit, but not you. It's the company that you bought all of those very expensive tunnels, high-speed tracks, and bridges from. Oh, also new stations. Oh, and also signals. Slavigal, sounds like enough advantages to get in. I really do wish you good luck, dude. Sure, the emphasis was different. Yeah, emphasis. Oh, paragraph in law. Looked like a currency symbol. What is that symbol called? I forget what it's called. Is it just paragraph? Is that just called paragraph? And I'm certified electrician per paragraph 21. I see. Trainz symbol is the paragraph symbol. Ah, great. Okay. Paragraph is used for the simoleon currency in the Sim series. Ah, that's why I thought it was a currency? That's why. Although it does look like a currency, doesn't it? Quite a funny mistake to make. So they kinda ripped it off? Well, I guess. I do know those softwares, but only from school, which, despite my knowledge, puts me on 0 years of proven practice. Well, not really much I can say to that, I guess. A bit, yeah. Shades, would you ever stream any Sims games? Okay, I'll re-answer that question in a little while. So getting a job is now infinitely harder. Well, that is only a very bad thing if it had any difficulty beforehand, because if the difficulty of getting a job would have been 0, then if it's infinitely harder, it would still have a difficulty of 0. However, given your statements, I do not believe that is the case. So in which case you need lowercase omega to then get a job. Because if you don't know, lowercase omega, the symbol, means the value after 100. So if you say lowercase omega, then it's like saying infinity plus 1, essentially. So the actual number after infinity is it's the lowercase omega symbol. Don't worry, I'll get to your question. How would you get practice though? Oh geez, he's feeling analytical today. Oh, come on. I always like analyzing. Well, not always. But I often like analyzing things. If it's fun. Sometimes if you analyze something too much, then it can fall apart. In which case I don't do it. But if I think that it's fun to do, then I'll do it. Okay, so what do you think of the hill? Is it good? Hilly enough. Goes up. Actually, no, it starts down, so it goes up, then it goes down, and then it goes a little bit up again, and then it goes straight onto here. By working either job or schooling course. Oh, right, so it would count as you getting proven practice through a schooling course, but not if you just use the programs in school, right? Yeah, but before you start working, you'd always have 0 years of practice, right? But school I went to does not count as schooling course. Yeah, exactly. Welcome to my country. Oh, I had not realized that the borders had changed this drastically. I guess Brexit really has made a lot of changes. Right. Is there a particular greeting that I need to use, or... Thanks for the welcome image. This still looks a lot like the UK. Shows XDDDD. Oh, really? Well, I was kind of going for the US. For this to look like the US. But I mean, I guess UK is good if it looks like the UK. I might just have to switch out the signals and some of the rolling stock, but I can make this into the UK. The Brexit content. Yeah. Content is right. Content. Right, so, to answer your question about The Sims, the answer is, consider it. Yes, I would consider it. If I did play any of The Sims on stream, if I did stream any of it, then it would be The Sims 3. Definitely, yeah. Which I could do because it has been updated to be 64-bit, so it does run on Mac again. However, I've got so many other things to do that streaming The Sims isn't really a top priority. I guess that what I might do is maybe when RCT3 is over, I could do because if you notice, on my Twitch channel, if you go to the schedule, the RCT3 stream is listed as miscellaneous, right? Have you ever wondered why that is, if you even noticed that is? Well, the answer is that it's listed as miscellaneous because originally the intent was to have 2 Trainz live streams, 2 Trainz root building live streams, and 1 live stream where it was just streaming something different, which is why it's called miscellaneous. Now, I did not plan on Rollercoaster Tycoon 3 taking so long. Yeah, but the original plan was to do a little bit for Rollercoaster Tycoon 3, then maybe a different game, then something else, and something else, and something else. Miscellaneous, well, if you go to the Twitch schedule, the actual Twitch's schedule, not my image, not my home screen on Twitch, I mean the actual schedule, where it translates your time zone. But yeah, so yeah, that was the original plan. Now, since our RCT3 has taken so long, it's really just been RCT3 on that day and Train Simulator. But when Rollercoaster Tycoon 3 ends, then I might do it like it was originally intended to be done on Thursday. Well, on Thursday RCT3 time, which is to do just miscellaneous stuff. One stream I might do a little bit of Sims. I might do some Planet Coaster. That's also one. Or I might do something else like maybe KSP or some other things, really. Just kind of like how I feel. So, there is a chance that The Sims will make an appearance on stream, but it is not very high. Not very high. So, tent, yeah, let's camp stuff. What UK did with Brexit is just throw a middle finger at EU, disconnected the tunnel, thanks to France, and sailed off into the Atlantic to conquer new lands. Well, I agree with a lot of that, only I never agreed with any of it. By that I mean, I agree that that is, to some extent, what the UK has done. I agree that that has happened. I do not agree with it happening. So, yeah. Okay, let's see if I unstraighten that. Oh, that should look good. That should be good. Right. A tent of cons. Island Paradise? Island Paradise? I don't have one, sorry. But if you've got one on sale, then I might be interested. Oh, you mean the DLC? Well, I don't know. I don't know. That's quite good. But nice. This does need to be lowered a bit, though, this one vertex here. Lowering that a bit. And then let's remove the gradient from it. And then let's readjust the height to the tracks. Does that work? Let's move it over a bit. So kind of like this is better. This is where forest will go, by the way. Or seasons, supernatural, into the future, XD. I think I'll go with XD. That sounds like the most interesting DLC. The XD DLC, now just priced at 9999.99 XD. Straw poll, let it run for 2 weeks, Paradise. Well, then I could end up doing something that I'm not really that happy with. Although I might do it. I guess it just depends on what options I put on there. Although then, in that case, it could be that someone is really excited for straw poll, wants one thing to be done, and then they vote for it, but then they're the only one that voted for it, and then it's quite disappointing. So if people tell me what they want, and then I can just choose something from the list, might be a bit better, because then it's not like... Well, I don't know. Maybe it's not better, because then... I don't know. Maybe a straw poll is better. I don't know. It's something that I will think about when we come to it. Not in discussion. I mean, when we actually get to where it would be useful to think about. Slavic Eagle, from what I know, Brexit was mostly pushed due to a desire to tell Europe to go and do one, but this is from a show intended for comedy, so Well, here's the thing. If a certain party, doesn't matter if it's an individual or a company or a country or the entire Earth's population, doesn't matter, any one entity, if any one entity loses money, then that money does not evaporate. Instead, it just gets transferred to someone else. Brexit has sucked up billions of pounds, with the result that basically almost the entire infrastructure of the United Kingdom has been destroyed. So that money has not just vanished, it went somewhere. It obviously didn't go to the people, otherwise, well, we wouldn't be in the situation that we were in now, which means someone, or a group of people, a group of entities, has benefited so enormously from this. And there are, of course, records of this. There are records, for example, there are bets were going on between billionaires of whether Brexit would go through or not. And you can imagine that if you've got this much money, then you can influence things. So I think that a con is not far from the truth, especially since a lot of the statements that got a lot of the people to vote for Brexit were actually lies. No, it's not just something that turned out differently or a word play or something that was misunderstood. No, they were actually direct lies to the people, which technically makes the contract between the people and the government void. If the government lied in the facts about the contract, which got people to vote for it, so that means the contract is void, which means that technically Brexit is illegal. But, of course, nobody cares about that, or at least nobody cares about that who has enough power to do something about it. So, there you go. Right. Miscellaneous. Where? It's in the schedule, like I said. I was making a joke. Oh, right, that. Never noticed it. Shared ice. Also, congrats on 49 wagons, coupled up wagons. Yes, yay. Great, thank you. Might need to attach another loco if we get any more. Vote OMSI2 West Country 3 for miscellaneous Wednesday slot after RCT3 is done and dusted. Well. Shadis, what kind of games do you like? Because I know a game that's not violent, and I think it's on Steam, but it's kind of difficult and a dexterity thing. How do you feel about those games? It's kind of like a platformer, I guess. Well, the games I enjoy the most are either creative games, so where you make your own stuff in them, so like Trainz, for example, where it's more like a platform for creativity. The other main group of games I like are kind of tycoon management kind of games where you build up a thing and you have to think about logistics and you have to plan ahead and you have to invest the money well, and if everything flops, then it's your fault because you invested poorly. And like, for example, so like Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 or Train Fever, Transport Fever 2, Open TTD, that sort of thing. I also do like simulation games. So, like, I do like, for example, the truck driving games. So, American Truck Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator 2, those kind of games. I do like them. Don't play them much because, well, I don't know really why. I guess I just like the other games just a bit more so when I think about, oh, well, what am I going to play? What am I going to put time into playing? I just like playing stuff where I can build something up more, I guess. Another game that I thought might be good to stream, at least not for a long time, just for a little bit, might be KSP. Because in KSP, even though I've been playing that for a long time, well, it has been a long time since I first played it. I did play for quite a while. I don't think I've ever managed to successfully land on another planet. Yes, I've landed successfully on both of the moons that Kerbin has, but not on any of the other planets. So it might be interesting to do some live streams with that. In terms of more dexterity-based games, do you mean like reaction games? Because I do enjoy reaction games as well. like, for example, Super Hexagon, The Incident, what is it, the other one? Is it Hedron? No, it's Boson X, Boson X, Boson X, that's another one I really like. Thumper, of course, yes, Thumper is another great one, although Thumper is, well, Thumper should also be okay with the music, because it is game music, but I would need to make sure if it did anything like that. So yeah, I mean, those are pretty much those kind of games that I enjoy playing. Yeah, but pretty much games that let me build stuff up. I like mostly. Those, yeah, that's the biggest group of games that I like. So that also does include, to some extent, games like Terraria, for example. Been a while since I did this. Yes, I realize there's chat waiting. I know, I know. Oh, another one I really like is Civ 6. Without wars, but I really like Civ 6. I really like the feeling of going through history and just the look of it and planning things out where you've got all the tiles and different resources and you have to keep everything in your head, and then because you do build something up there as well, so that's a game that I really like as well. A thing that we might do with that is maybe we do like a map creation live stream for that, perhaps. And then we could play on the map. Maybe I could invite some people over to play with me. So like maybe Kango, we could maybe do a multiplayer live stream with Kango Fango and someone else, if someone else likes playing Civ 6, of course. No wars, because that is not something that I find enjoyable. But otherwise, yeah, that might be another one. Right, so Gangster Paradise? No, Gangster Sharadise. No. And if you continue to throw accusations like that, I will have to call my lawyer. So, just so you know. This is PogChamp. Seems to have stuck, thank goodness. I don't really care about that either way. I don't think he finished reading chat. No, I haven't. Trainz. Oh, it's gone. Where did it go? Where did it go? There you go. Trainz, the UK, or a select few people, government, individuals from the UK? Oh well. Forest, nice. I don't know what you meant by that. Before Forest, nice. Trainz, you'd only put options on there that you'd like to do. Yes, not boring ones. That is true. Thursday, not Wednesday. Alright, yeah, of course. Party consisting of the entire world. Yeah. The world's population, there, you know, the 1%, that is one party, one group. And then the population, the ones below that, you know, the wage slaves, could be considered another party. So, yeah. It's technically not the entire world, because, again, those other people where all the money flows to, all the power flows to, is technically also part of the world, but yeah. Brexit's like a great big money sponge, and it's getting faster by the minute. Fatter by the minute. Whenever anyone says entity, I never think of anything normal. I always think of some sort of space deity or some kind of hell spawn. Don't we all? Don't we all? Anyone got an idea which session rules to include to make a player train be limited to certain speed? Well, I'm out of ideas. Well, there is a session rule for that. I think, isn't it just speed limiter? Well, you've got the speed check rule. You've got the ATP speed limiter. This one's the one I'd use, the ATP speed limiter. If you go over the speed limit, it breaks the train. Other than that, one thing you could maybe do is use the speed check rule, and if the player's going too fast, then give the player train a set of commands using the driver schedule rule, and then that will slow the player down. So like something like maybe just wait for 5 seconds or something like that. It will slow the player down, although then going back out, I don't know. I'd help if I could, but never, not nerver. Should I turn into a rapper for a second? Oh, did I? Thank goodness. It would be better if the original was brought back, since the reason it was removed was very questionable, to say the least. Besides, this new one is the same as the Komodo hype emote, exactly. Better to turn into a rapper than into a rapper. Shadows, the game is called I Am Bread. It's a wonderfully mad game, which you can probably tell by the name, and I think it would be great fun to play and stream, but it's your lot. I know what that game is. I have heard of it before. I've seen some gameplay. It's from 2013, I think. It does look like it's fun to play, but just not sure if that kind of game would be my sort of thing. I mean, there's also the thing about getting to the toaster with all that stuff, which would constantly remind me of other food-related things, which might annoy me a little bit. I don't really want to get into that on stream, but the concept behind the game is good. Shadows, also, did you get my recent email? I did. I have not looked at it yet. I did get your recent email, and I will reply to it once I have had a look at it. Thank you for sending it. An entity, the crystalline entity. King of Fang, are you sure about that? Rap is horrendous most of the time, in my opinion. Well, depends on it. Shadows, yes! Kerbal Space Program, yes! I've heard of that game. You mean Kerbal Space Program? No, you meant him. So yeah, I probably meant I'm Red. So most people apparently have played with a keyboard, which is more difficult than using controller. You mean for KSP or for I Am Bread? Mr. W. I don't generally like raps either, but turning into a rapper would be even worse. Well, depends what would be wrapped in you. That's true. Technically, I guess you could consider yourself a rapper, if you, like with a W. If you think that your skin wraps the rest of you in. But that's not really a pretty way of thinking about it. That's true. Oh, it's gone. Super Hexagon, Mate, Thumper, Boson X, etc. Yes. Silver Eagle, in my entire time playing Trainz, I've only made one session, which also didn't go well. It did go well, you just didn't have a proper plan for it and not that much experience. But for your first session, I think it went really well. I mean, you had nav points in it, you had message pop-ups in it, you had AI stuff in it. Well, yeah, you had AI stuff in it. I think it went well. So it just needs a bit of work, but everything does. Kangfanger, also, about PogChamp, I meant thank goodness that they settled on one. And to be honest, I understand why they changed it. I understand why they changed it too, I comprehend it, but I do not agree with it. I do not agree with it. Because what happened was something critical was said. It was something that's a matter of opinion. It was not something objectively horrible. If he had said something objectively horrible that everyone could agree upon, it was a really bad thing, then sure, I can understand that people wouldn't want to be constantly reminded of that by using that emote. But if someone says something critical, and then to do something like this as a result of that, that is essentially a form of censorship. He didn't follow censorship, So that's why they don't want to have anything to do with him. So it's, yeah, anyway. I don't want to get that far into it. It's okay, though. Should I City Skylines? Yes, that is also on the list of things I might do, I guess, about them settling on one. Usually when I settle on one, I usually like to settle near some resources. Like maybe some stone for quarries would be good. Maybe some forests. A river, of course, is good to settle on. Coast also, because with the coast you can explore better, which gives you an advantage. So I'm glad that they settled, but just not sure if that was the best place to settle. Can you think about why they couldn't have just made another one with another guy is a bit odd. XD, just no! Not sure what that was referencing. Multiplayer live stream, maybe on my Cornish Historic session, but I have to update it. Yeah, definitely. When it's available, when it's up, then I would definitely want to try see if that works for me, because for some reason with your Wild West route, forget what it's called, sorry. I showed it previously on live stream, on this live stream, but with that route, whenever I hosted the session and I clicked on a loco, it crashed. When you hosted the session, it worked fine. So yeah, if it works, then yeah, definitely. Or yes, definitely might be more correct to say. He hasn't finished reading chat now either. Will do soon though. Now it's gone again. As for the multiplayer live stream on Cornish, let me know. I will prioritize the update for that session. It's up to you. When it's available, then yes, I definitely like to do that. But don't feel like you have to rush that, because it is good to get some more work done on this. So you have to have the full 2 hours to work on the Milton Valley Railroad. And additionally, I did also want to play some other sessions, some of Marquis' sessions as well on that route. So yeah, I mean, when it's available, then yes, of course, I'd love to do it. But don't feel like you have to rush it. That's what I'm saying. XD, don't we all? Be right back. Please let me know his answer if I don't come back soon enough. Miss W, thing is, the original PogChamp wasn't even made by Twitch. They took it from some random behind-the-scenes video. Oh, I didn't know. It's gone. Oh, I didn't know that. What does PogChamp even mean? I'm gonna look it up. Well, I was told this by someone. So there's a game called Pog, and that is apparently the champion of the game Pog. Hello at U20C. Hello, U20C. It's been a while. How are you doing? Intended to express excitement, joy, or shock. From good old reliable Wikipedia. Well, that is the emoticon, not what it means. Like, it's what it is used for, what the emoticon is used to express. It's not the meaning behind it. And the name comes from another video uploaded in 2011 featuring Gutierrez and Ross in a promo video called Pog's Championship for Mad Catz brand joystick, the two-play Pogs, the disc flipping game popular in the 1990s. Yes, this is true. Sure is. Okay, I never thought that someone would have a ethical problem with I Am Red, but hey ho. Well, it's not an ethical problem. It's more of a thing that impacts my enjoyment of it. For example, if it was a game... Let's see. Okay. If it was a game about delivering stuff, like trains, like for example, imagine Transport Fever, but instead, if you want to get anywhere, you have to transport cows from the farm to the slaughterhouses, and then get the meat, which is then so they cut up cows' corpses, and then deliver them to a food processing plant to get cities to grow. If that was in the game, then I would not really like to play it, because that reminds me of, well, how things go in real life with cattle. So with that, I mean, it's basically just that it impacts my enjoyment of the game to a degree where I would prefer not to play it. Yeah, we just wouldn't get enough enjoyment back from the experience, essentially, what I'm saying, for the time that it would cost to play it. I am back. Shadows, I meant I am bread, yeah, back. Did he say the session or nah? No, you are eagle, okay. And there's a sequel, I am fish. Hi fish. I didn't have an AI stuff in it. It didn't have AI stuff in it. Oh, oh well, I thought you did have, but it's okay. But thank you. Same here. Understood, but not agree. Yes, but as far as I know, from the little I know, then the opinion of the person involved was rather offensive and potentially dangerous. Well, okay, there are two different things. So, okay. If an opinion is offensive, it depends on what it is. I mean, that is such a broad spectrum that just saying offensive is really too broad to be used in any sort of discussion or argument or in anything, because there are things which are just a little bit annoying to some people. Like, for example, if someone's swearing, then yeah, that in a lot of situations that is considered offensive. Why? Because the swear words are taboo, and so it's, well, oh, taboo, oh, there's someone swearing, oh, like that. That's what you are offended by it, because someone has made you feel embarrassed because they're using, or uncomfortable because they're using taboo words. So that is an offensive, but that's not really that bad. But however, there's also another way of saying something offensive, which is the thing which actually attacks the beliefs of someone in a way that is disrespectful. So that would be offensive. If someone's saying something offensive, someone attacks someone's beliefs, so it attacks them, not challenging, that's what I meant to say. So if someone attacks someone's beliefs rather than challenging them. The difference, of course, being respect. Well, it's to a large part respect. Second half of that, dangerous. No, an opinion is not dangerous. There cannot be a dangerous opinion, because an opinion is just what someone believes. How people act on their opinions, what they do, that can be dangerous. But an opinion cannot be dangerous. By definition, yes, I know that in popular media it is often portrayed as such, like, oh, a dangerous opinion. But no, the only danger that an opinion can pose is for people to change their minds. For people to, okay, for example, say I have a store and I'm selling snake oil, yeah? And I claim that my snake oil is a cure for, okay, say it is a cure for a very dangerous disease, the symptoms of which are maybe coughing, but you can die from it. So then, if I did my marketing right, people will be so afraid of this disease that they'll buy my snake oil and drink it, and then when they don't die, it's say, oh, but because of my snake oil. I know, tying it back to the game. But yes, a dangerous opinion, dangerous to me, would be if someone was of the opinion that the snake oil did nothing. That the snake oil, that the whole thing about the deadly cough let's just call it, oh, I don't know, let's just call it pumpkin seed disease, yeah? Pumpkin seed disease, yeah? So that pumpkin seed disease was only invented to sell, by me to sell my snake oil. That opinion is dangerous to me because if people change their minds because of that opinion, if other people become of that opinion, then that is a danger to my business. However, there is no physical danger. There is no danger of an opinion. People can have the right to make their own choices, and hearing more opinions only adds to people being better able to make an informed choice. So there is no such thing as a dangerous opinion. So, yes. Anyway. By the way, it doesn't have to be a disease. It's just that for some reason that's what's on my mind. It could just as easily be, say, a fuel, a fuel which produces much less exhaust, supposedly. So, but actually, the thing is, it just doesn't smell as bad as the other exhausts, exhaust fumes. But actually, it is much more dangerous than it. So, even though you don't smell it, it is more poisonous. In which case, someone of the opinion that the smell is not something to go by, but rather the actual particulate matter of it, that is a dangerous opinion to my business. So, yeah. Yeah, neither do I. So I'm being bloody careful with word choice so as to not set anyone off. Well, you succeeded. Trainz, great, pass railroad. Yes, that's it. I will update the session then. We will figure out the hosting somehow and then we play it. Yes, looking forward to it. I only have one other session so far. Yes, that was the one I wanted to play. They say that about a lot of things. Things that are offensive and dangerous. What I'll say is that it's best to have a look at things yourself, do your own research, and don't just follow the mainstream opinion of things just generally. Well, yeah, because more information means you're better able to make an informed decision, which means that the choice you make, the decision you make, has a greater chance of being the right decision. So more information is never a bad thing. With that, with what we're talking about, I personally don't think further research is needed. I'm not entirely sure what the whole deal with the PogChamp thing was. I didn't do any research on it, so I can't really comment on that. Trainz, yeah, I couldn't find what I meant either. Like when the meme says, ugh, fine, I guess you can be my little PogChamp. What is PogChamp in that context? By becoming her PogChamp, what potential joy or torment is his subjecting himself to? I honestly don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be a pun on something. I don't know. Sure, it's true, but this isn't talking about meat of any form. The only real animal product I can think of is the butter, and that's not even essential. Yeah, I know, but there is scientific evidence of baked foodstuffs, roasted especially, of having what is the word? Of being cancer-inducing or promoting. I'm not sure what the correct term for it is. Basically, that it increases the likelihood of you getting cancer if you eat the more roasted things you eat. The more it's the same with burnt things, obviously. And that whole thing is just not really something that I would like to have as a core part of my game. So, of a game. So, yeah. Anyway. Never heard of I am fish. Neither had I until recently. Sure is an opinion that, if acted upon, it has a potential to be dangerous. Well, yeah, but there's no harm in expressing that opinion. No, there is no harm in expressing that opinion, because people are responsible for their own actions. If someone tells you their opinion, it doesn't matter whether they've told you or not. They would still be of that opinion. Only when they've told you, you have the information that that is their opinion. It doesn't change anything. It only... Right. Here's a possibility where it could be considered dangerous to voice an opinion, which is, for example, say a big influencer on maybe YouTube or something, who has millions of followers, millions of people he or she influences. Then if that influencer says something specific, expresses an opinion, which is his right to do, there can't be anything done to him or against him for that righteously, then if that audience is younger, very influential, not influential, easily influenced, very naive, then they could act on that influence, on that opinion, without thinking about it themselves. Now, are they responsible for it? Yes, of course they are responsible for it. All the other one did is express an opinion. There is nothing that can be done about it. If you do something based on an opinion of someone else, then it's still your fault. It's still you who's responsible. An example of this might be if an influencer said that he's of the opinion that everybody should carry a firearm to, to concerts. Yeah? He's of the opinion everybody should carry a firearm to concerts. Yeah? That is an opinion. He's free to voice it wherever he or she wants. That doing something against that, or punishing them in air quotes for doing that, is not okay. That is wrong. That goes against freedom of speech. However, if the influencer said that, and a large portion of the influencer's viewers are younger, then that influencer's opinions could directly influence those of his viewers, the actions of their viewers. Again, does that make the influencer responsible? No, of course not. There is no way that would be the case unless it is a situation where the influencer has accepted responsibility for a certain for a certain group of people. Like, for example, if it is a situation where something like if it's a kids channel who not even that, because then they still, it would be the parents who are responsible, not the channel. Say it's say it is say there's a children's care home. Yeah? So children without families, children's care home, they're in a care home, then the people who care for the children have accepted responsibility for them. And so when they influence the children to do things, then they are responsible for them, because they essentially fill the role of the parents. But outside of that, so outside of accepting responsibility for a certain group of people, there is nothing that can be or should be done against someone expressing their opinion, whether you consider it right or wrong or safe or harmful. You can't do anything against it. That goes against freedom of speech. You are allowed to express your opinions without having a directly negative effect from that. So, and by directly, I mean as a direct consequence of you expressing them, of you having expressed these opinions. Not necessarily what they are. So, no, that's not clear enough. That's not clear enough. I mean, of course, if there is a situation where there is, say, a reporter and they then go say that their newspaper stinks, and that's their opinion, then of course the newspaper who are hiring them, depending on the contract, probably do reserve the right to fire that reporter because of that reason, because they are damaging the image of that newspaper. And in that case, if it's in the contract, then they have agreed to it, so then that is a thing that they will probably have to accept. However, if it's not something like that, then there's really nothing that can be done, or should be done. I didn't really want to talk about the subject so long. I'll admit, just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. That is true. Yeah, well, even if you're offended, and even if you're right, it's still no reason to disadvantage someone over someone else if it's not got a direct link to it. If there's no direct link there. It's a very tricky thing to get into, and it really depends on case by case, but there is a lot of censorship going on regarding personal opinions that are being publicly expressed, which is of course the right of everybody. Everybody has the right to do that, but it is influencing things about those people that it really shouldn't and really can't legally influence. So, Miss W, the little PogChamp thing, never got it. Where is it? It jumped. Why does it jump? Yeah, neither did I. I just love the tone of the utter defeat in her voice. No idea what it means, though. I've never even heard that. Sure, it's true, but if the opinion has the potential to cause someone to do something potentially damaging or dangerous, could it be argued that the opinion itself is dangerous because it could cause dangerous actions? No! That is the important thing. Absolutely not. Because then you get into the realms of thought police. Yeah? So, freedom of speech says that you are free to express whatever you want to say. You can say whatever you want to say unless you've entered a contract saying that it's basically unless you've signed a non-disclosure agreement. If you've signed a non-disclosure agreement, if you've entered that contract, then of course you're not allowed to disclose that information given the context of the contract. However, everything outside that, you can express. That if you say that if expressing someone's opinion, like you said, but if the opinion has the potential to cause someone to do something potentially damaging or dangerous, that's not your fault. It's not your fault. You're expressing, like, it could be anything. So if by that logic, every statement could be considered dangerous, because it could be that, for example, the statement, "This forest is nice." That is my opinion. It is a statement I've expressed. Now, that statement could cause someone to do something dangerous. Say that someone, somewhere, has had a very bad experience in a forest. Maybe as a child, but maybe where they live there are bears. Maybe as a child, they were out with their family and a bear attacked them and almost killed maybe the father. Say that, yeah, the father. And that has traumatized someone for life. Yeah? And they've been seeing psychoanalysts, psychiatrists maybe, and they've been working on getting things fixed up mentally, getting themselves healed. However, with the lockdown situation, not being able to see anyone in person, not being able to go outside into the sunshine, those things could have been a significant drain on that individual's mental capacities. which could have brought them to the point where my statement, this forest is nice, could have triggered a... triggered is the wrong word. It could have influenced them to experience more anxiety, just that little bit more anxiety, which pushes them over the edge to do something dangerous. Yeah? So this statement, this forest looks nice, could be causing someone to do something damaging or dangerous. Now, of course, this is a ridiculous example, but the principle is the same. An opinion cannot be dangerous. Expressing an opinion can, of course, have effects, sometimes dangerous effects, sometimes some good effects, bad effects. Doesn't matter. It does not matter, even in the slightest. How people act, what they do, what their actions are, is entirely their own responsibility, unless they are unable to carry that responsibility. Like, for example, if they are underaged, or if they have a mental disability which does not allow them to carry that responsibility, in which case the individual who is responsible for them carries that responsibility, not anyone who exclaims their opinions. Again, neither do I. Meh, buffering is here again. Aww, that's sad. Sloviel, probably for the best. He's gone off on one again. Oh, come on. That would mean that it's better not to hear what I have to say. That's surely not what you meant, is it? Right. Wait, the pumpkin seed disease doesn't exist? What? Yeah. But it can't be. It's all in the news. Everyone needs their Sharadice brand snake oil. See, what I love about Sharadice is that he explains the opinion on what you're saying and why he thinks you're not right, but it's never in a condescending way that makes everyone feel inferior in any way. It's not really... Instead of going into any detail about that statement, I'm just going to accept the compliment, I guess, and move on. It doesn't do anything? Is the snake oil kept in a bottle freezer along with the sweat rock stars to be given to adoring fans? Oh, it is, yeah. Here, right, right. Here, you get the sweat for your idol and you can cure pumpkin seed disease. Indeed. Right. Try this. Put ya teeth in, mate, and try it again. Put ya teeth in, mate? Ew. Where did that come from? You started it. What? You know exactly where it came from, or have you blocked it out of your memory for sheer shame? No, you did. With your sweat cape. Yes, oh yeah, I get that now. What about the others modes? Eh? What about the others modes? Other modes? Oh, was that referencing the I am breath thing? I don't know. And it's better to do too much research than too little, at least I think so. Well, that's not really that, well, depends on the thing. It depends on the thing. Sometimes you can, if you do too much research, then you can end up spending so much time on it that you just don't have time left to do other things that are important to you. It depends on the thing. Obviously, if it's a life or death situation, then of course, doing more research than necessary is favorable to doing less research than necessary. But that's just logical. It's just logic. Cool. Sure, it's true. no direct harm to express it, but then again, playing devil's advocate like the slimy bastard I am, the voicing of your opinion could cause other people to take potentially dangerous actions. Of course, it could cause that, of course. But that's not your responsibility, it's their own. Unless you are directly saying something to basically order people to do something, and you have gained their trust through a lie or something, then it's your responsibility if you lied to them, of course. Because then they were acting on false assumptions, on false facts. But even if I were to go out there, tell someone, it is my opinion that you should jump off the Eiffel Tower, yeah? Which of course I would never do, but if I did do that, then even if that individual then thought, oh, that's their opinion, I should do that, and then does it, then even though I would of course feel guilty because it was my thing that I said that pushed them over the edge, unless it is considered a case of murder, in which case, when this wouldn't be because there was no intent of them actually doing it, then it would have caused a very bad thing happening. It would have caused something very bad from happening. It would have made something very bad happen. However, it would still have been a thing that was okay, this is a bad example. In a less extreme example, I would say that it was a thing that was okay to say. In this example, of course not, because people who would actually do that might be liable. You don't know who you're talking to. You could be talking to someone who would then actually do that. So of course, in that situation, it's obviously not okay to do something. It's of course not okay to treat something like that lightly. However, in a less extreme example, it would have still been okay to say that. Picked a bit of a bad example there. Right. Shame. Definitely true, yeah, but some things are so in your face, then more research isn't really needed. That is interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. Because the things that are so in your face can often be the things that need more research. For example, in the 50s, smoking. Yeah? With smoking, it was not only the tobacco companies, who said that smoking was healthy. No, it was actually doctors who said that smoking was good for you. Smoking made you healthier. Yeah? And back then, it has been, of course, documented. There have been documents found that many of those doctors were actually bribed to say those things. Like literally, 50, 60, 70 years later, a lot of those things have come to light. It's not a matter of opinion, it's actual fact. And the same thing happened in Victorian times as well, where coal dust, slate dust that miners were breathing in. There were miners were experiencing breathing issues, and so when they called doctors in, the doctor said that it was from them drinking too much coffee in their coffee breaks, so they should instead not have coffee breaks, but that actually slate dust is healthy for you. Later on, it was discovered, and now we do actually have records of this, and letters have been found by the descendants of those doctors, that many of those were bribed. So in the case of smoking, back then in the 50s, it was in your face. Like, of course, smoking's healthy, everybody does it, it's the cool thing to do, and even the doctors say that it's healthy to do, it makes you healthier. It's in your face, but if you've done more research, you would have discovered that actually no, it is the opposite of healthy. Smoking, yeah. Well, I'm going off. Gotta do some things. Well, thank you for joining. Bye, Slovak. See you later. And the snake oil is kept in the dome freezer, not next door. Yeah, it depends. Kingfinger, I had the word sweat and cape in my selection. That's what I chose. You added sweat to yours with no obligation to. You could have done water, but no, you went for sweaty, sweating sweat that is sweated from the sweaty sweaters. Sometimes, maybe. Good response. But sometimes not. Yeah, but you had put the sweat thing into my head. And that wasn't my fault. Blame the game and the cards. Exactly. This is the exactly kind of thing. In this case, Kangafango, you're blaming him for setting it. It's your fault because you put the thing in my head. No, it's the same thing with expressing opinion. If you express an opinion, in most cases, except for some core cases when you're dealing with things like mental instability or things like that, then even if you put the idea in someone's head, it's not your fault, it's the one's fault who actually does the thing. So, unless it is designed that way, if it's designed that way, if you're designing something to influence people in a certain way, and then you put ideas in their head to do something that way, if it's planned out, designed, then it gets a bit grayer. Shadays, it's kind of difficult to hear what you're saying as I'm sometimes typing when you speak, but just because someone doesn't admit responsibility for something doesn't make them not responsible for it. True. That is absolutely true. A children's gaming YouTube channel that as a joke and as part of the outro always says, and remember kids, always bring your firearm to your local weekly Mick Richardson concert. Bye. Yeah, in that case, it's the parents' fault because they're letting their children watch this thing which they haven't cleared. If the children are watching something which could be dangerous for them, then it's the parents' fault because they're responsible for their children. Now, I'm not saying that the YouTube channel that has that as the outro is entirely blameless. Of course not. Of course they're not entirely blameless. However, the responsibility lies with the parents. Bye. Missed you message. Sorry. I guess it depends on if the joke has the potential to be taken seriously. Which joke we talking here? The one that you told just now in the context of the database debate. Oh, right, of course. It wasn't a joke. I suppose there's also the issue of the tone and subtle meaning and implications that the opinion you're saying. Yeah. Of course. There is so much of communication is rhetoric. If you're using it, and to what extent you're using it, and what your goal of using it is. But responsibility for one's own actions is still very much a thing that is, well, a thing that is true. If someone says their opinion, then you do something bad, and you can't blame it on them saying their opinion, because you're responsible for yourself if you're an adult, and of course if you've got your full mental capacity, basically. But if a kid took it seriously and nicked the revolver from a left open gun's closet and actually took it to the concert, it wouldn't be good, would it? No, of course it wouldn't be good. Of course it wouldn't be good. Come on. No, of course not, but that's part of what I'm saying. The YouTuber might get into the danger of getting his channel taken down, even though it wasn't meant as a joke. It depends on how the kids take it. Yeah, this is a very serious thing, because it depends. Is it a kid's channel? Is the channel aimed at kids? Or is it just an actual channel and just through chance a large portion of the viewers are kids? Because that's a difference. If it's aimed at children, then more responsibility goes to the owner of the channel. because that means that their message was addressed at children. If it's the other way around, if it's just addressed just normal public, then if children watch it, then it is much more the parents' fault. Because if they let their children just watch YouTube, stumble on other things, it's not something that is within the control or even the preview of the YouTuber. Of course, it also depends on the contract that you signed with YouTube. I'm not entirely sure on that. So what the contract of that is, so I'm not sure how much responsibility you agree to by having a YouTube channel and posting things on there. So in this specific context, I don't know exactly what that is. In my personal opinion, it would depend on whether the joke had the potential to be taken seriously. Yeah? True, but if literally everyone thought that it was a joke, apart from one kid, it would still have this effect. Well, it could. Shadice, from your people are responsible for their own actions, or words to that effect, argue that people learn from their environment. True, of course they do. Of course they learn from their environment. Of course they do. But it is the parents' job, or the guardian's job, to make sure that their children learn basically wrong from right. That's not the job of someone on the internet. That's not the job of someone who has a podcast or who writes articles in a newspaper or who just makes statements about his opinions. No, it is the parents' job. If the parents did a good job, then the children will be able to, when they're older, form their own opinions on which opinions are good ones and which ones are not. So, yeah, of course people learn from their environment, and which environment you grow up in is of course part of that, but how you interpret the world around you depends on how well the parents raise their children. So, yeah. Or do you not think that that is true? What I meant was that it would be better to do a bit more research than a bit too little. True. Trainz, in the dome freezer next door, not in the dome freezer, not next door. Alright. Trainz, well, just to be an argumentative bastard, what if the parents didn't know? Ah! I like it when there's a discussion going on. Well, it's still the parents' fault. Of course it is. The parents have responsibility for their children. If the parents don't know, then it's the parents' fault that they don't know. It's the same thing if you've got a toddler and the toddler turns the stove on and the house burns down, then it's the parents' fault because they didn't make sure that the toddler couldn't turn the stove on. Do you see what I mean? If there's a child involved, then the one who's responsible is, of course, the guardian figure, which is the parent figure, which is the parent or guardian. If the parents don't know, then, well, that's their fault too. Missed your message. Exactly. Yeah, chances are they probably didn't, in most cases, but it's their responsibility to know. Well, yeah. And if the child has successfully been able to hide it, well, if the child has successfully been able to hide it, then it is still the parents' fault. Yeah, I know. If you are raising a child, if you have a child, then, well, that is what you agree to by that. Because you're a parent. It means you are responsible, not just for the safety of your child, but also for the worldview that child then develops, because you are the role model. You are the ones, or should be the ones, that children look to as they're growing up to see what is going on, or the primary role model at least. So yeah, it doesn't matter if the child hides it or not. It doesn't matter if it successfully hides it or not. It doesn't even matter if anything happens to it or not. It happens as a result of it or not. It's still the parents' fault. Then it's still the parents' responsibility because they're letting their kids hide what they're watching on YouTube. Sure, it is kids channel, yes. it would be meant for kids, no comments enabled. Well, in that case, yeah, it is in that case, a joke like that, which can be reasonably taken as serious by a younger audience for which it is meant for, of course, in that case, the YouTube creator would, no matter what the contract says, would, in my opinion, be responsible for putting something like that in their content, the same way as, because they are consciously acting as an influencer for people who are easily influenced. So in that situation, yeah, of course, I mean, there's really no I don't really think that there is much space there, because if you know your content is aimed at someone who is quite easily influenced, and then you say something that could reasonably be taken seriously, and if it is taken seriously, influence someone to do something really, really bad, then, well, yeah, it's still the parents' fault for letting them watch the thing, but it's also your fault because you consciously did it, basically. I would say, at least. And if the child has, for example, deleted the history, I just realized that I'm almost arguing against my other point. Well, still the parents' fault. It is still the parents' fault. If the parents haven't raised their child to be honest about this sort of thing, and if the parents have basically enabled the child to access this sort of thing, and if the parents aren't keeping an eye on this sort of thing, then it is the parents' fault. Even if the child deletes the history, even if the child makes it impossible for the parents to know, it's still their fault because the parents are responsible for their child. It does not matter how good the child has hidden it or has tried to hide it. Because the fact that the child was attempting to hide this, or doing it anyway and attempting to hide this, is the responsibility of the parents. Here's a good example, actually. You know those mobile games where you have to pay, where you have in-game purchases for energy or gems or whatever. So you have to pay money to be able to play the game for a bit, and then you have to pay more money. You know that whole thing? Well, if the parents give one of those games to their child, or if the child wants it, and then the parents give it, then if the child then somehow manages to purchase this in-game resource, and it spends thousands of pounds, which has happened, that parents have left themselves logged in to whatever the child was using, enabling the child to purchase these items, still the parents' fault. If the child has spent thousands of pounds on that, it's still the parents' fault because they're responsible for their child. Not really sure why this point needs so much discussion. I would have thought that this is quite a base point about family dynamics. The Guardian's job. How can a newspaper have the job to learn children what's wrong and right? Well, a newspaper's job is to the truth, which, sadly, is not really being followed up on by most newspapers, at least not entirely. Data manipulation, only showing parts of facts and misconstruing facts and all that sort of thing. It's been happening for literally millennia. No, really, actually, it has actually been happening for millennia. Here's a word for it. It's called propaganda. Anyway. But yeah, I get the joke. Good work to lighten the mood. That too, yeah. Shredders, no, I don't. Not with that example, at least. Keeping watch on the child so they can stop them from turning it off. I agree with that, but a child has, as far as I know, the physical ability to turn a stove on. Well, yeah, but if you're... The thing is, it is still the parents' fault. So... It doesn't matter if a child does something dangerous, something stupid, something dumb, or something that demands someone to be held accountable, to be held responsible, then it is always the parents / guardian, because they are the parents. That isn't really nothing more to say about that. If there is an accident, say the child has a bicycle, yeah, not a toddler anymore, bicycle, and they're in an accident on a road, gets hit by a car, has to go to the hospital, huge hospital bill. Then, depending on the exact context of the accident, but let's say the driver was driving at a fast speed, the child on a bicycle just went out onto the road. Couldn't have seen, there was not enough time to brake. The driver could not have done anything differently. Whose fault is it? Is it the child's fault? No, because the parents didn't, well, first of all, the parents didn't protect their child, they didn't keep an eye on it, they weren't there with the child in a dangerous situation. Secondly, they did not tell the child or get it through to the child exactly how dangerous roads can be. So it is both from a upbringing point of view and from a in the moment point of view, the parents' fault. Even if the parents were nowhere near, it's their fault for not being anywhere near. Or do you not agree with that? I really don't know why we're talking so much about this subject. I really did not intend to talk for this extent about the subject. It's not a very nice subject to talk about. Make me talk about something more lighthearted when I've finished reading chat. On chat is yes, that is true, but parents can't be over their kids' shoulder all the time, and parents instinctively trust their kids, I would hope. Yes. However, it's the parents' job for that trust to not be misplaced. And it's absolutely right about the thing being over the shoulder, but if a kid, for example, here's the thing, another example, say they're going to a museum, right? Going to a museum, and the parents are looking at some paintings for ages and ages and ages. The child gets bored and walks off. If the child then knocks against something like maybe a vase and breaks it, then whose fault is that? Is it the child's fault? In the moment, not looking out for something. Yes, of course it's the child's fault. They bumped into something. It's the child's fault. But overall, it is the parents' fault because they did not keep an eye on the child, for one thing, and secondly, they didn't teach the child to be careful enough in situations like this. So, also it depends on the exact situation. I'm getting quite tired of talking about this subject. I really am. Although it is interesting to talk about, I'm just not really having much fun talking about it. To be fair, there's some stuff that's on YouTube Kids that are YouTube Kids that has no reason being there. Not because it's adult, but because it's not specifically aimed at kids. such as a cover of a song and the original song has the F-bomb in it. Well, yep, seen a few mislisted YouTube Kids videos as well. Trainz, yeah, exactly. It is, of course, the parent's responsibility to raise the child good, but that doesn't automatically mean the child will be good. Well, there are, of course, outside influences. Influences that the parents have no control over. But it, of course, depends on the situation. If it's a situation where it also depends on the age of the child. Depends on the age. If it's a young child, then of course it's absolutely the parent's responsibility. The more responsibility the child gets by becoming older, the less of a responsibility the parents have, because the child has had more opportunity to experience the world and build their own ways, basically. Well, that's basic stuff. I don't really need to say any of that. But in the cases that we've talked about so far, I would definitely say that it is the parents' fault. For example, the thing with the child looking at stuff that is on the internet that is not good for them, basically things that would be dangerous if a child based their opinions on that, then that is absolutely the parents' fault. Good. I like how the talking is just nothing to do with Trainz, or the Milton value unit. Trainz? Why were we talking about Trainz? Well, it's crashed. Anyway. Oh, there's not that much time left. Oh, hold on. I didn't realize we've been going that long. I need to get a thumbnail ready. Well-behaved, respectable, polite, etc. I would say good. Well, depends. I mean, yeah, I mean, I get that is the traditional definition of what a good child would be. But for me, whether someone is good or not depends more on the choices they would make in situations. If someone makes the good choice, if someone if someone can read the situation, make a good choice based on that, and it was the good choice, then to me that would be a good child. If someone has good intent, so a benevolent intent, and if someone has the ability to make those decisions. Well-behaved, so manners. Of course, that's nice. I know. And important as well. But well-behaved, I would more say being respectable, respecting others. And respectable, well, that they act in a way that others respect them. Yes, of course. Polite, yes, of course. Politeness is important to an extent. And of course, the most important one is etc., because etc. is, of course, as we all know, the most important trait that anyone can have. I want to... not that photo, not like that. Maybe something like that could be good as a thumbnail. Okay, if I can place... I just like to place a train in it if I can. Wrong train. Still wrong train. Ah, these ones are the ones I wanted. It's been a while since I've had anything to do with these. And let's just place some hoppers behind them. Just something like this. And actually might be better to place them on... Well... Yeah, this track might be a bit better. Get a little bit of the shadow on there as well. Not that much. Just a bit of the shadow. Like that. I think that's good. Trainz, my bad. XD, bless you for keeping the mood light. Did I? Oh. Did I? Oh. Trainz, there's always the potential for the parent to not be looking or to not be there. For example, just hypothetically. Well, yes. But then, if the parent isn't looking when they should be looking, and if the parent isn't there when they really should be there, then it's the parent's fault for not looking when they should be looking and not being there for if they're not there. Yes, it could be that there's some other thing important thing they have to do, but it's still their fault. That's what it means to be responsible for someone. If you're responsible for someone, it means that if they mess up, if they do something bad, if something bad happens to them, it's your fault for not stopping it. That's what being responsible for someone means. So, yeah. Or at least that is my view on it. I would not like to be the child of parents who did not think that that was the case. But yeah. Also, as human beings, or at the least most of them, physically don't have the ability to be laser focused. Yes, of course, and accidents do happen, but you know what I'm gonna say. But you're right, I'm losing the will to live a little, so let's talk about something else. Sounds like I'm changing the subject because I think I'm losing the argument, but I'm not, I promise. No, it definitely does not sound like anyone is losing an argument. Also, I didn't realize this was an argument. I thought it was a discussion. But no, yes, I would like to change the subject as well. I would have liked to change the subject maybe an hour and a half ago, but here we are. XD, if you wanna get off this topic, then you got a heck of a lot of chat to catch up on. I know. Right, let's talk about trains then. Paradise, Claude Hamilton, 440 or 282 LNARP2? Claude Hamilton. Yes, I'm very etc. XD. Trace, plays a vehicle. I have. A Land Rover Summit. Oh, like that. No, I haven't. Well, in here, yeah, it would look good. It would. You're right, it would. So let's just place that and then I'll read chat. Hopefully no one's gone yet. I know they probably have, but... maybe... Jeep? Because this one. I'll place this one. There we go. Good thought. A Land Rover Summit, Paradise, but then people will assume that you drove a train in the stream. Will they? Well, it's not my intent, unless I have now more time to drive a train, but... well, I don't know. Yeah, I thought... XD, I thought it was a discussion too. Again, it was more of a joke. I'm gonna go when Paradise reads out this message. Yeah, but if the parents don't trust the children, chances are that the child would be more prone to try more things from their parents. But if the parents do trust the kids and are close and kind to them, the kids would probably not hide stuff from them. Yeah, it's true. It's the same thing with something is taboo. If something's taboo, then it can easily become cool to do the taboo thing because it's exciting. You're going against the rules. You're rebelling. It's a thing. So if something's taboo, actually making it taboo can make people more likely to do it. For example, smoking. Again, nowadays, smoking. A lot of people which I have actually spoken to quite a few people about this, and who have smoked or have smoked. They said they got into it because it was taboo. It was not their exact words, but that is essentially what they said, because it's taboo. So if it was not taboo, then less people might get into it. If it's just, oh yeah, it's dangerous, then yeah, the same with other substances. If something is illegal, more people are tempted to do it than if it's legal but just bad for you. It's the same thing. Like if I had like say I had I don't know. Okay, say I had a bottle full of apple juice. Yeah, full apple juice. I put it on a shelf somewhere, and say that's my apple juice. I'll take it on my trip later. It's fine. If I put it there and I say, don't drink that apple juice. That apple juice is mine. I do not drink it because it is mine. Do not drink it. Yeah. Then if I leave the room, the temptation to drink it, or at least to taste it, is going to be so much higher than if I just said that this is my apple juice, and that's it. All right, bye. Can't find you probably, but anyway, enough of this. Bye all. Yes, bye, and definitely enough of this. Bye. Trainz, you could have just skipped Mr. W's message and then he would have stayed. Yes, but I know. The thing underneath was blocking it, so I only read the first line before I noticed the second one. Oh yeah, I want to go to bed. Sure. Have nice dreams. Sure, it's true. Mr. W, alright then. See you tomorrow in the Transfer 2 stream, probably. Probably. Like, oops, did I not save that? Let me just check. Just to make sure that I did actually save it. Might have not saved the car. Might have not saved it. 1 second. Oops, that is the wrong position. Alright, I didn't even save the train there. Well, let's place the car there and then it's better. Let's just place the... I said... Let's just place the car there and turn it. Not turnip, but turn it. There you go, and I can raise it up a little bit as well, because it's currently in the ground. There we go. Go back! Litepe! Yes, yes. Is it buried? Yeah. Okay. So with that, we're at the end of the stream. Thank you very much for watching, for sticking through that. I know the discussion was not... It felt important. It felt important. It wasn't fun. I mean, usually I love discussions. It's really a lot of fun discussing things, even when it says, but this was a serious subject. And it wasn't fun to discuss it. It wasn't fun to discuss it. But in the end, it did feel like it was an important thing to talk about. And the stream went by so fast. Like, so incredibly fast. I would think maybe 45 minutes gone, but no, it's 2 hours have gone. So... Anyway, next time is going to be Transport Fever 2, and I can almost promise, of course I can't promise it because I do not have premonition, or future sight, now you want to say it, but I will do my best to have it more lighthearted, I'll do shoutouts after I've read chat, so, yeah, good. Hello, Chris. Oh, Chris, you're here as well? I had no idea. Hello, welcome. The stream's over, sorry. Yes, exactly, shoutouts. It wasn't fun, and it did not feel like 2 hours. Here's for a better stream subject next time. Well, not better, but more lighthearted, yeah. Well, what is it? You said here's for a better... Oh, right, this is... All right, I see. But yeah. Okay. So, with that, I'm glad that I got quite a lot of work done on the Milton Valley Railroad. Yeah. Next time, when we're working on the Milton Valley Railroad, I'll probably do half and half. So I'll do half the Milton Valley Railroad, in which I'll probably finish up the little fields going up to the forest. And then the other half, I will be driving on... Well, I'll be driving on Marquis' route. Yes, Conch Railways. That's going to be exciting. Such a beautiful route. I'm really looking forward to it. So, yeah. Thank you, though. It was still nice. Maybe not fun, but nice. Bye. Oh, wait. I'm supposed to go. Oh, sorry. Oh, what do I do? All right. Shoutouts. Well, should I do shoutouts? Sure. I'll do a condensed version. Kango Fango streams on Sunday. Yeah, just streams lots of great stuff. Trainz as well, sometimes. As well, there's a project for Trainz being developed at the moment. It's a free map. It's called Central Europe. It's on the DLS. If you want to have a look at it, go ahead. And yeah, I guess the last, except for bye, and reading chat, the last kind of message of the stream, I would say, is have fun and be responsible for yourself. That seems like such a bad message to end on. Well, not a bad message, but like such a ridiculously redundant message. Because of course, but anyway, maybe it's a necessary one. Maybe it is a necessary message to send out that, hey, people say things, doesn't mean you have to do anything. But if you do something, then it is your choice, your responsibility for the things that you do. So, with that, next stream will be more fun, like, haha, hey, haha, fun, yay, great. Whoa, look at that, what, a duck? That was a duck? You know, like that. But, there we are, just reading chat one last time and then I'll end the stream. Thanks for bye, thank you for the live stream and the shoutout. Yes, best message. Yay, best message. One would think that it's redundant, but one might also be wrong in what they think. So it's a bit like Moses. So it's a bit like Moses supposes his toes are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously. For Moses, he knows his toes aren't roses, like Moses supposes his toes to be. There we go. That's from Singing in the Rain. It's a song. Anyway, no, not Singing in the Rain. I mean, Singing in the Rain is not the song. But that Moses supposes is the song, which is part of the film Singing in the Rain. There we go. Anyway, who knows? Who knows? Yaysies, Shadow's funsies. So funny. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Bye, bye-sies. Enjoying the last few seconds of the stream. Well, let's enjoy them in silence. So great job. Bye. Bye.